the rest of you, tune in next time to see Ags Ricky, Armlet Zeus, and FaZe Boots Weaver. Yeah, I wasn't joking. Okay. We should probably start with the item build this time. I mean, you guys just saw that insane collection of items in the alt tab as summary with like no context, and I really think I should probably explain myself. Okay, ready? Okay. Start off with tangos and 1 blades of attack, 1 blade of attack, as well as a fairy fire. We now have 69 damage. That's going to come into play in a bit. Swap out the blades for a wraith band or wand if you feel like you need the stats because of a hard lane. The blades of attack are for FaZe Boots. Ooh, I can feel the lost subscribers now. FaZe Boots with Geminate attack gives you 48 damage a hit, and that's it. We already have phase and max movement speed from our Shkashkuchki, and because of that, I'd suggest building the 2 blades before boots. The reason we need this damage rather than the stats of treads is because of where we're going. You've never played a Weaver like this, my friend. Buy a bottle next, no matter what lane you're in. Bottle is a Weaver's best friend, if you're willing to use the TP in time-lapse. Empty your bottle, hide away somewhere cozy, TP to fountain, fill your bottle, and immediately time-lapse back. And mash that bottle hotkey for 3 seconds while you still have the fountain regen. Early game, this tactic can get you full HP and mana with 3 new bottle charges to spare at the cost of a TP and time-lapse. Know that you won't need to TP for the next 70 seconds, and you're fine. For everyone else's regen, and for some much needed stats, pick up and earn. The only way to play Weaver will keep us in fights for a very long time. Let's watch a replay of me being in a 30-minute elongated fight without ever leaving while we carry on with the build. And now this is where it all clicks. Our first core item is Aghanim Scepter. The bane of every man, woman and child climbing that MMR ladder is 4 teammates weighing them down with their mispositioning and their amazing ability to walk into 5 heroes whenever you're not looking. With Ags Weaver, you are now playing the only core in the game who can both reposition teammates, purge all debuffs, and heal them back up completely. I mean, try and think of other cores who have that ability on a 20-second cooldown and 1000 cast range. If I haven't sold you on this yet, it doesn't even break channeling spells. Did Witch Doctor cast an amazing Death Ward but leave himself completely exposed? Time-lapse him right back into the trees. The Death Ward stays right there. Before you shrug this off as the ravings of a mad Kiwi, give it a shot. Or just watch the example game in the description. There have been games I can guarantee I wouldn't have won had it not been for this build, mostly because of the aforementioned chronic feeding syndrome. After Ags, we go Desolator. And before you say it, I know, Desolator on Weaver? That's crazy. But seriously, Desolator is like the cheapest way to hit like a truck, and the FaZe Boots plus 48 damage starts falling off about now. With treads, we wouldn't even have any damage by this point. Late game, everything else is situational. Just pick up the typical carry stuff. MKB, Deathblade, Butterfly, BKB, Jesus Christ, I won't stop with this insanity, will I? Octarine Core is a really great 5th or 6th slot item because it lowers the cooldown of Geminate attack as well as... Nah, I'm just kidding. Now that we've gotten all of that out of the way, let's take Weaver solo offlane. This build is all about that position 3 utility core, and besides, you want to keep those lovely gens you'll be saving as safe as possible until you have your eggs. So let's just give him safe lane. Here's the classic Edgeco Power Pyramid trademark, registered Stein copyright, showing heroes that counter a classic... Ooh, okay, on second thought we might need a bigger triangle. Weaver's all about maneuverability in teamfights. Faces forward and Bloodseeker can stop that, and techies can outright punish it. He's also, with a normal build, squishy and dependent on Shkashkuchki to stay alive. So Zeus, Slardar, and Bounty Hunter also go in there. In hindsight, this might have been easier if I listed who didn't counter him. Conceptually, Weaver is countered by long stuns, detection, burst, silences, and above all, deathball strats. What he excels at are prolonged teamfights and kiting for days. It's a constant in the world of Dota 2 that if you have teammates, you have feeding teammates. So your allies don't really matter. You're going to save them all, no matter who they are. As with every only way to play guide I've done, you can find this one in-game as well as in first place for the most downvoted link on Reddit. It's the first link in the description. The skill build goes as follows. WEWEQRWEWERQQQ and then stats are stats. Maxing Sakuchi or Geminate attack first is really a case-by-case basis, and 1 level of Swarm gives us enough for now. Vision, armor reduction, and basically a pseudo-slow while they try and hit it 4 times. The Swarm has a mind-boggling 3,400 total range forward but a 300 radius on the side. The Swarm is actually a spell that does a physical DOT. The bugs are straight up just there for show. The Swarm can latch onto BKB units and will stay attached to anyone as long as they don't go invisible. This is the perk that takes this spell from meh to a godsend. It's an insane anti-juke tool. Max level Swarm will deal 420 damage over 16 seconds before reductions or amps from armor reductions such as the spell itself, and it also reduces up to 21 armor. Scoochie doesn't interrupt channeling spells. You can use this as you TP into a fight to trick them into thinking you cancelled. I like Weaver. He can farm well and even win in a 1v2 matchup. Last hitting is easy enough with Geminate, and harassing any support willing to trade with you will always have you coming out on top, and if not, you've got a hasty retreat in your W. If you can get hits off with your Geminates while avoiding hits from their carry, go for it. At a point they'll realize they're losing the war of attrition on this lane and either go for an exploitable Hail Mary kill attempt or leave and regen up. Both are absolutely amazing. After Urn, we swap to farming heroes. Go to a lane wanting to get some kills and push, help them out, and proceed to stand there just off to the side, earning people up and sharing morale boosting words of encouragement. Because of our ultimate purpose in this game, try and rein back a little and fight with your teammates. We're here to be in range for Urn charges and to ultimately survive. Soon enough, we'll have our ags, and this is probably the point where if you wanted to submit something to top players, you'd want to start recording. 20 seconds, 1000 range, an infinite amount of dazed teammates thinking they're dead and going AFK while they sit at full HP on the edge of a fight. Remember that level 3 costs no mana to cast, so even outside of danger you can use it to purge a track or a DOT, and because of the way we're playing this we have two teammates who in theory should be much more farmed and a bigger threat to the enemies. Keep it that way and let them go in first. People know to kill an Oracle before he saves anyone, but they don't know about our Weavers. Remember though, Weaver isn't a support, he's a carry, through and through. Ags is really the only utility we buy. There's nothing worse than having 20,000 net worth and realizing you forgot to buy damage. Finish your desos, your diffs and your Daedalus, you peak right after Ags deso and quickly start falling off. You want to end as soon as possible, and it should be easy. Taking a tier 3 is as easy or as hard as telling a teammate with Blink to jump in and whack away at the tower on the promise that you're going to bring him back, you swear. And always stay true to that. The fastest way to lose this strat is to have your teammates mistrust you, and considering how amazingly oddball this strat and build is, that could potentially happen right out of the gate. It's usually best to have a dozen kills under your belt before you start justifying your stupid builds. Sensibly, most teammates don't trust a guy claiming he's trying a build he saw on Reddit while he's 0-7. So there it is. Good luck with convincing your teammates you are not a loon, and have fun. There is a 1 in 366 chance that I'd upload this video on this exact date in 2016. And yet, I did. This guide was brought to life by the following awesome pledges. You like that? I'm trying to start a thing. They are I for Trouble, Chet Coenen, Simon Szymanski, Jacob Miller, Michael Robb, Wing, Martin Thuro, Shoopt, Milocott, and Rhett Mitchell. If you want to sully your good name by having it here too, become a pledger. Take a look at my Patreon page, give me your money, that sort of stuff. Pledge enough, and you can request your own special only way to play guide for any hero you choose. Just as an addendum, most of this video was made before the Medusa one, but I released the Medusa one and waited for this specifically so I could play off any negative criticism with haha, April Fools, I tricked you, haha. But this outro extra was made afterwards. You guys really liked that guide, and I'm happy. Hopefully I haven't lost all of you with this guide. Tune in next time to see Desolator Shaker, Desolator Dazzle, and Desolator Spectre for going any levels in Desolate.